guys, welcome back to SimCity. I was gone for like 10 seconds and turmoil was breaking out in town. We have issues happening left and right and we only have a population of 78 in these several houses. Okay, so where I left off is I was going to talk about these little blurbs that have appeared above the house. Now this is going to be fantastic here because we have both types right here right away. This type right here is the type that you should really pay attention to, because it's clickable and it means something's going to happen if you click it. So we're going to click it. The symbol gives you a hint to what it's going to be about. So we're going to click it and see what happens. Excuse me, hang on a second. Alright. Hey Mayor, don't you want a town hall? With the town hall, we'll have access to services like food, waste disposal, health, and police. Take it to town hall. Those little blurbs, those are what the mini objectives in those quests. Remember last episode, we're up here, we have this little blurb that was given here to us by default. If you ever want to get more of those and do little quests and unlock buildings and have rewards, then you need to keep an eye out for those blue, white blurbs that are clickable that appear. Click them, it'll zoom into a sim, they'll have something to say, and then you'll be able to do something about what they say. And they want a town hall here. So I'm going to click I'll do it. And in this case, it's giving me a new quest. So we have to build a town hall. Then we have to provide the city with water and provide the city with power. Now, these other types of blurbs are really just thought bubbles of the Sims living there. There will be different colors, like dark green, light green, yellow, orange, red, based on the severity. If they're green, they're positive, and if they're red, they're negative. Here, these people are complaining that they don't have water and that they don't have power. And if you're living in a house without water or power, that's kind of terrible. So we're going to fix that. This is the town hall. This is like the town government panel. This is our government dude. And as you can see, we do not have access to build a town hall, which is what this person wants us to build. We have to provide power and water to the town in order to build it. And as you can see, these are red, so we obviously should be doing something about them. We're going to go ahead and do water first, because that is the easiest. In previous SimCity games, you had to stretch power lines and underwater pipes to get things watered. In this SimCity, they made it very simplistic. You get something like a water tower. As you can see, we're just going to click it and we're going to place it. And then this is where all like the water is. This is the map that I was looking at earlier. But the nice thing about it is it's very simple in that the water pipes are all under the road. So if you build something next to a road, it's going to get water pipes. And you can only build things next to the road to make them work. So if I place this, we'll literally have water. Now you can see as I place this along the road, I have different locations to choose from. And it's going to tell me how many, I believe that's probably kilogallons, or just how much water is going to be able to flow out of that. Now, right now, it's not important. I could place it here and we'd have enough water for the town. But obviously, where it's darker water and there's more underground water, we should probably place it so that we can get more use out of this water tower. This water tower costs money. It costs money to build, and it costs 100 simoleons an hour to fund, which deals with the whole tax system we'll be talking about in a little bit. Now, this 100 simoleons an hour, if it's barely putting out any water, it's not worth it. But if it is putting out the maximum amount of water possible, then it's great. It's doing its job. It's, I could, if I had a population 5 times this, and I only was able to get this much groundwater, I have to place like 3 of these wells. But whereas I could put it here and I can only place 1 or 2 wells. So these are a pain to build and delete because it can cause lapses where your town isn't getting water. So for now, I'm gonna hide it over here kind of in the corner. It doesn't matter where I put it, like putting it right here, it's still going to travel down the pipes, and it looks like this is even the darkest blue possible. As you can see, it's completely maxed out. Looks like I can get a little more if I move it. So we're going to place it. Actually, that's not too big of a deal. I'd rather place it all the way at the end. So we're going to place it right there. As you can see, the water, it's going to start pumping, and then the water is now traveling through the pipes to go and, yeah, as you can see here, I'll zoom in on it so you guys can see. You can see it is pumping the water here. And, oh, information. There's also information blurbs. If it's I like this, it means it's going to tell you about it, and it's not going to give you a quest. But here we go. So he's going to explain what I just did. We built pipes right into your road infrastructure. You won't have to worry about adding those yourself. You are the mayor. As long as there is water in the ground, we'll keep pumping water to your Sims, and as long as the ground is wet, we should be good. Be sure to keep an eye on ground pollution near your water tower. If the pipes suck up too much water pollution, your Sims will get sick. As you can see, we don't have this one. We don't have any water pollution at the moment. As you can see, there's no pollution anywhere, which is nice. Okay, so yes, as you can see, it's pumping. It sends surges of water. The surges of water travel down the pipes and are now entering the homes, and then they get flushed into the homes, so now the homes have water. And as you can see, this guy is now happy. This is all the information about how much water. It's showing you how many kilograms an hour of water you're pumping. As you can see, we have 11.3 kilogallons of water pumped every hour extra that we aren't using. So that's good. You know, yellow means you're right at the level, but if it goes into red, you will have, not every house will be getting water because there's just not enough water coming out of the ground. So a whole bunch of little information here, but we don't need all this. Okay, so we got rid of that. Now our only problem here is we need some power in the city. And as you can see, we provided water to the city, so we need to provide power. Okay, so we're going to jump into power here. Power works the same way as far as sending electricity through the pipes and the roads and all sorts of that stuff. Nuclear power plant, we don't have money for. We don't have the technology for. Solar power plant, it's really expensive, but we'll talk about each of these. This is also really expensive. Right now, we're only taking in 26 simoleons an hour, so I really don't want to just dump, like, more than half of our money or even a third of our money into powering this city. This city is really tiny right now. We don't need this much power. So this is really expensive. Even though it's really clean energy and it works, it's way too expensive at the moment. And there's no pollution rate. This is also too expensive for me right now, and it's also requires oil, and we have to buy the oil from out of the region because we're not drilling our own oil right now. So this is going to be extremely expensive. And also notice that it costs 856 simoleons an hour, and right now that would put us in debt. We would be losing money every hour we run this town. Coal power plant, negative 450 an hour as well. 17,000, but we still have to buy coal, and this is very, very pollutant. It's going to pollute a lot. So my option I usually go with when starting a nice little town that's all a little happy and it's small is the wind power plant. It costs an initial 8,000, which is the cheapest out of all of them, and then I can add additions onto it, more wind turbines, and then that'll be, that's fairly cheap to add little ones. And you can see it only costs 80 an hour. As I expand, it's obviously going to cost more. But 80 an hour, we're only in deficit by like 40, so I can easily add some more housing to that. Now, I was going to build the wind power plant. Now, I have to build the wind power plant, again, along some sort of road. And as you can see, there is a little bit of shading here, so it does show you that, okay, the winds are 13 miles an hour here. They're loud, they're still 13, they're 13. Up here, the winds are 14, 13, 13. So the toppest winds, if you can see, it's a little shaded blue up here. This top area definitely has the highest winds, as would make sense. But I want to build some better roads, so we're going to build a nice little... I'm actually going to go with a low-density street, because they will be bringing some building supplies here. But we're going to go from here to, say, here. You see these little dotted lines? These help you grid it out. If you want to make your city a grid, it's really helpful to make sure that you are maximizing your space, because if you build it too close, you'll only be able to build one house, and then you'll just have this awkward empty space. You build it too far, you'll have houses on either road with empty spaces between them. You build it just perfect, then when the game builds houses, it'll fill up that square entirely. Alright, so let's try placing this wind power plant here again. Okay, we got 14 mile an hour winds, 14 mile an hour winds. Alright, so I think right here looks like a pretty good location, so we're going to go ahead and place that. Again, wind turbine power is not what we're going to be using through the entire length of this town. It's what we're going to be using just for the time being until our town kind of outgrows this and we're able to supply our own resources. Okay, so we have built it. So it's closed, and it's now hiring. That is also a very good point I should probably bring up, is employments. These buildings don't actually work themselves. Imagine that. Employment has a weird way of working in this game. It doesn't actually work out, like, ideally. It's got some weird algorithms the game uses to calculate it, but for this intended purposes, it's really kind of just a basic idea of, like, this needs workers, and workers don't like to commute, but they will commute if they are forced to. So in this case, it's going to take the game a little bit of time to get these workers over here. They're going to have to commute, but they're just going to have to deal with it because it's the only power in the area right now. And as you can see, we do have workers there, and they got there. So now power is getting power to the city. So we'll watch this power everything in our city. And as you can see, we're also producing megawatt excess power. So right now we can build more houses and we'll still have plenty of power. And it'll notify us if that goes down the drain. Looks like we accessed a new item now that we have power. This is free DLC they sent out. It's a Nissan Leaf charging system. It's a place where people... Oh, hey, I'll talk about those new things in a second. But it's a DLC they sent out, and you can build these little charging stations where people will start driving electric cars to cut down your pollution, and then they'll park here and charge. So that's something to keep in mind about building later. As you can see, we have new items in the government, but I do want to see if there's anything else that's in the way now. We can't build anything else in these. None of these are approved at the moment. But as you can see, we did provide power to the city, so we're ready to continue. But before I continue, I do want to take on seeing what this person has to say. We need a place to shop in tents. Whoa, that did not come out right. We need a place to shop in this town. Would you zone some more commercials so we can get more shops? I'll do it. We'll come back to this. As you can see, if you're zoomed in, you'll see thought bubbles. Thought bubbles won't pop out when you're at certain zooms, so you might have to zoom in or out to find your thought bubbles. You can see I zoom in, I see more. But people are happy because they have a steady flow of water, and they're cooking llama for dinner. All right, great. Wind power plant seems to be working great, so we'll leave it at that. Okay, so next up is building our new thing that we just got, and this is the town hall. This town hall raises the medium wealth land values around it and does a couple of things. It's free to build, but it does cost money an hour, and at the exact moment here, we're really losing money. So I'm going to build this, let the next set of events kick in, and then we're going to have to go ahead and plot some more areas to build. Because as you can see, whoops, this one. We do now have a demand for commercial. We don't have any demand for residential, but we do need to zone commercial, which is something else we can address here shortly. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and find a spot for Town Hall. As you see, it's fairly big because it has to have room for a lot of expansions. I think it would just make sense to place it somewhere here in the middle, unless I wanted to build more roads up here and build it in this area, but I think it would just make sense to build this down here since this is going to kind of end up being the center of town. I think we're going to try right here. So yes, we popped our town hall, yay. So we completed that set of tasks. Oh, awkward. I wasn't supposed to name my city yet. Congratulations, Mayor, your hard work has paid off. Now that you've built a town hall, give it a name. So it's telling me to come down here and name it. I already named it. I cheated. Sorry. I thought I was supposed to do it after the region, not after the town hall placement. But anyways, so we now have the town hall built. I don't like... This is one of the things that I run into problems, and it kind of reminds me of how I do my Animal Crossing New Leaf Town, is I've got the choice to build a big project, something that's going to stay in my town for the entire length of the town. I have to find a location for it. This location might not end up being the best location once I start actually building things, but I had to pick a spot, and that's the spot I picked for now. So unfortunately, that's the way it is. Town Hall is going to be upgraded to become huge, as I said, and then it's based on how many people you have in your town. So once we get 5,000 residents, we'll have a new upgrade, so we'll take care of that. Alright, this guy wanted us to zone commercial and have 10 commercial buildings, so I'm going to close out of all of this. But I'm also going to hop into the money, because right now we're in a bit of a money problem. So you come down and you click on the budget panel. It's going to show you where money's going. As you can see, we're charging 9%. 9% is something that just like, I don't have much control over other than the percentage. And I just have to charge everybody a general 9%, whether it's a factory or a house or a McDonald's. Everything's going to get charged the same. Now, this shows you how much money you're taking in, how much money is going out. So obviously, most of our money right now is going to government. Then the next part is water, and then power. So as you can see, we're losing $254 every hour in the game, which is about a couple minutes. You know, you can see each second is like a minute. So it's basically every minute or so. So we need to make more money, and you make more money by building more things that give you taxes, which in this case is going to be commercial, residential, or industrial. Now, I think we should go ahead and build. I'm going to dump some more money to invest in an area for commercial. Now, I could make a nice little commercial district, but I think I like the idea of this being nothing but high-end apartments down here, and then having this second level be commercial with industrial over here around the back side. I think that might actually work out kind of well. So we need to build road access for our area here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and dump a good bit of money just so that I can get this right. And that would be in building nope, I didn't get that right. Alright, it locks on 90-degree angles. So if I were to build it here, I like the idea of the road being right along the cliff and then everything else being in front. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. We just dumped a bunch of money into it. But that's okay. We kind of had to do it. Alright, so again, I'm going to go with these. Actually, maybe something like a curved road would be kind of neat. This might actually turn out quite awesome. We'll test this out right here. We'll test this. Ooh, it got dark. Alright, it's nighttime. Time does tick by. I'm dumping too much money into building roads right now, and that's not what's important. What's important is I need to get some of these plotted. So we're going to go ahead and plot that out. We'll see how this works out. I've never done curved roads, but I'd like to make this town look kind of neat. Alright, so I'm also going to build a little bit more. What if I built all circle stuff? Ooh, that would be cool if there's a bridge there. What if I went like all the way out? This could turn out neat. It's really expensive. I'm not going to dump the money on it, but that's something to keep in mind. For now, I'm literally just going to... Whoops. I do need to go to straight roads again. Okay, it's not going to do that. One of the things that can be a little bit frustrating at times is getting the roads to be straight. As you can see, they're not straight, but that's because this road isn't straight. So I'm doing my best to get them straight. It can be pretty frustrating because the game isn't always the most helpful when trying to do that. Okay, so we have a nice little city block here. I'm going to go ahead and plot out some more housing. why not? Might as well plot that. Alright, so as you can see, now that I've zoned more of this, and now that I've zoned some of this, you can see that the commercial demand is going down, but now that I'm building a commercial district, you can see that the residential demand is going up. Industrial demand really don't have much of that at all at the time being. Okay, so zoom this out here, and we got our first area here. Again, during the daytime, people are more likely to come here and find work. They're going to have to commute again, but that's just life. Alright, you can see we are getting a lot more construction of housing. Now that we have a town hall, we unlocked a whole bunch of new things, including a garbage dump. We can now build a fire station. We can build a clinic. Police station, as you can see, we don't have money for any of this, and they're all very expensive. We can also now build a elementary school and a public library. We can now build a shuttle bus depot, so we can have buses going around town. I could build streetcars if I wanted to, but that's for huge towns. You get that right away. We can't do trains yet. Can't do boats yet. Can't do planes yet. I could build a bunch of parks, and I'll talk about that, I think, in the next video. Talked about these. Okay, something's going on with the zoning. He says we don't have enough freight producers. Okay, so commercial businesses need freight. Commercial businesses need stuff that's been manufactured and made in the industrial zone. So by having a commercial district, you really need an industrial zone of sorts. Now, if you have this game is really different than the other SimCities, because in other SimCities you had one town that supplied everything. In this one, I can make this town not have any industry in it, and then I can build another town over that will have nothing but industry, and then the towns work together in the region. This was really focused on one specific town that does one thing working together across the entire region, and this is not going to be the case. This town I'm probably going to have some sort of industry at some point, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to build that yet. So I'm going to ignore his request and just see how the commercial zone develops and see how everything else goes from there. Alright, what else do I want to look at? So we're waiting for this. I think this is about it for this episode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more buildings. So as soon as these 2 more buildings get built, I think I'm going to call it a day. Because I've got a whole bunch of the happiness stuff to kind of talk about, and I think I'll save that for next episode. Alright, up here. Ah, there we go. We're done. We got it. So we completed his task, and we now made our citizens more happy. Check. Real quick, this is the region wall. If you're playing with multiple people and you have other towns, this is where you can talk to each other, and it also shows the big events and stuff that has happened in the area. So I thought I would mention that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series. Next episode, we'll talk about happiness and stuff, and then hopefully very shortly we're going to start making money, and hopefully our money problem will be finished by next time so I can really start mapping out how I want this town to look. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall talk to you guys later. See ya!